Hello everyone, I'm happy to meet you again with this new video of mine. For those who are new to my channel, I'm Lanka, Assistant Professor of English, St. Joseph's College of Arts and Science, Cuddalore. In this video, we are going to discuss the poem The Canonization by John Donne. Before going into the poem, let's see a few facts about John Donne. John Donne was born in England in 1572. He died at the age of 59 in 1631. He was born into a Catholic family. He later became an Anglican, and under the compulsion of King James VI, he took holy orders in the Church of England. He was an English scholar, poet, soldier, and secretary. Donne has written many poems, letters, and sermons. His poems include sonnets, love poems, religious poems, elegies, and satires. His works are popular for their metaphor and sensualism. He is often considered as the greatest love poet in the English language. Abrupt openings, paradoxes, and ironies are characteristic features of his poems. Love and religion are two main themes of Donne's poems. As a poet, he is especially famous for his use of metaphysical conceits. Metaphysical conceit is a literary device which makes a far-stretched comparison between spiritual aspect of a person and a physical object in the world. To put it simply, it is an extended metaphor. Some of Donne's famous poems are mentioned in this slide, as you can see. Go and Catch a Falling Star, The Good Morrow, A Valediction Forbidding Mourning, The Canonization, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Death Be Not Proud, and Sun Rising. Some of his poetic lines are quoted often and are quite famous. Let me mention a few. No man is an island, death be not proud, death thou shalt die, other men's crosses are not my crosses. Donne has greatly influenced poets like Robert Browning, T.S. Eliot, and W.B. Yeats. Now that we have learned something about Donne, let's now see what is meant by metaphysical poetry. First, let's see the meaning of the word metaphysics. It is a branch of philosophy that focuses on reality and the beginning of the universe. Metaphysical poetry is characterized by bold conceits. We have already seen the meaning of metaphysical conceits in an earlier slide. And it's also characterized, metaphysical poetry is also characterized by subtlety of thought, paradox, and deliberate harshness of expression. The term metaphysical poets was coined by Dr. Samuel Johnson to describe a group of 17th century poets. John Donne was the chief of the metaphysicals. Others include poets like Henry Vaughan, Andrew Marvell, John Cleveland, and Abraham Cowley. Okay, so now we come to an introduction to the poem, The Canonization. It was first published in Donne's posthumous collection called Songs and Sonnets. This is a 5-stanza poem of 9 lines each. Love and religion are the themes of this poem, in which he portrays love as all-consuming. This poem is also a wonderful example of Donne's wit and irony. Having seen introductions to the poet, the poetry, and the poem, we shall now discuss the poem in detail. We already saw earlier that Donne is known for abrupt beginnings in his poems, and this poem here is no different. Let's read the first line of the first stanza. It's quite amusing and a bit rude. For God's sake, hold your tongue and let me love. The speaker here begins the poem by telling an unnamed listener to be quiet. The addressee has interrupted the speaker who wants to continue with his love affair. The speaker instructs the addressee to either be quiet or to criticize the other shortcomings of the speaker, like his palsy, gout, his 5 grey hairs, or his ruined fortune. Now, before I go further, let me give you the meanings of some of these words in these lines. Palsy means paralysis accompanied by involuntary tremors. Gout is a form of arthritis. Ruined fortune is a reference to Donne's inheritance, which he wasted on womanizing, traveling, and other pastimes. Because of this, he had to depend heavily on others for his monetary benefits. Okay, now back to the point. The speaker advises the addressee to concentrate on his own affairs. He could work raising his own wealth or improve his mind with arts and studies. He could also spend his time observing a judge or lawyer or a bishop or the king's face, either real or that stamped on coins. The speaker does not care what the person does as long as his love life is not interfered with. Let's move on to the second stanza. The second stanza has many rhetorical questions. The first one being, alas, alas, who's injured by my love? So before I explain the lines here, let me just tell you what is meant by rhetorical question. A rhetorical question is a question that does not require an answer. And we see here in this stanza quite a few rhetorical questions. The first one being, who's injured by my love? The speaker wants to know how many have been injured by his love. He asks how many ships have been drowned by his sighs. He wonders if lands have been flooded by his tears. Has the season of spring been affected by his colds? He sarcastically asks if the heat of love in his veins has killed anyone and added to the list of deaths caused by plague. Obviously, the answer is no. The stanza ends with the speaker's observation that soldiers still fight in battles, lawyers still find cases to deal with as there are many men eager to go to court to sue others, and to put it simply, the speaker conveys that life goes on as usual in spite of the speaker's love. The speaker or the lover does not care what he is called because love has made them both what they are. He compares them both to flies to indicate that life is short. He also says that they are like candles consumed by the burning flame. Love is portrayed as destructive and all-consuming. He then refers to the eagle and the dove and prefers to be compared to the phoenix. It is grander and magical. Like the phoenix that dies but rises out of its own ashes, the lovers can overcome all obstacles and return to one another by the mystery of their love. In the fourth stanza, the speaker seems a little frustrated. He says that even if they as a couple find it too difficult to live by love, they are willing to die for their love. They prefer dying together to living without each other. Their love may not be fit for a conventional memorial like a tomb, but it would be fit for a poem. Their love story may not make it into the history books, but the sonnet would be a good place to tell their story. That would bring them a larger audience. The lovers would finally be accepted and be canonized or made into saints of love. The fifth stanza conveys how the speaker sees their future as saints of love. He imagines himself and his lover as ascending to heaven, and from there they look at the people on earth. The lovers on earth would invoke their blessings and guidance so that their love would be like that of the speaker and his beloved. They would hear the prayers of lovers of different countries, towns, and courts. He imagines that they would both be upset because the love of everyone on earth would be so unlike the superior quality of their own. Having discussed the poem, let me just tell you the meaning of the word canonization. It means the process of changing an ordinary religious person into a saint in the Roman Catholic Church. The title is quite misleading because here a lover is expecting to be canonized for love and not holiness. We can assume that the speaker is an old man. From the words that we see in the first stanza, words like palsy, gout, and 5 grey hairs. The addressee is quite annoyed by the speaker's love in his old age, which is seen as abnormal and weird. The poem is thus a reply to the intruder's advice against the so-called abnormal love. These are some of the websites that I could refer to prepare my video. I'm really grateful to all the material that has been made available on net. I hope you find this video useful. I thank all of you for the supportive comments you posted on my previous video. It is so encouraging. If you find this video useful, do like and comment. I hope to come up with a few more videos in the near future. Till then, take care, stay safe, and God bless. Bye-bye.